Intrusive, disturbing flashbacks is something associated with war zones and hijackings. Many a movie has been made documenting the suffering. The hapless victim experiences a horrific event and then gets stuck there, replaying the experience over and over again. The memory pops into their mind day and night. The rerun happens without prompting. The medical name for this condition is post-traumatic stress disorder. It's pretty hard to fix. Time and hours of therapy can bury the hurt, but even years later, it can resurface. Aish, did you know you don't have to be living dangerously to get it? A stint in an ICU can bring on the condition. Now, it doesn't happen to everyone, but it does happen, and the after effects can diminish the quality of life of a person at a time they're battling to put their lives back together after a surgery. And you guessed it, the closer a person comes to leaving the ICU in a body bag, the more likely they are to have a psychological scar. It's a growing problem, as thanks to medical advances, more and more people experience and survive an ICU encounter. Now, it could be viewed as the price of doing business, but a few ICU teams are looking for ways to minimize the problem. Join us for this episode of Better Body Chemistry TV as we explore how to survive a stint in the ICU psychologically unscathed. Better Body Chemistry TV is brought to you by Dr. Sandy, a scientist turned gremlin buster, helping you battle sugar gremlins, heifer lumps, and other health horribles through better body chemistry. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health. A couple of things have already been tried. Adding a psychologist to the ICU team has been shown to help. So has the practice of keeping an ICU diary. This involves nurses, family, and friends documenting the life and times of the person whilst they are in the ICU. The thinking behind the diary is that having access to the details, which are often missing or twisted, can help fill in the gaps and thus help the person make sense of their memories. But although both of these strategies work, the probability that they will be widely implemented anytime soon is quite low. ICU nurses are too busy, and adding a psychologist to the team costs money. This prompted a team from Iran to look for an easy to implement and inexpensive solution. Realizing that one of the traumas of an ICU experience is the flashing lights and constant beeping of the machine, coupled with no time cues. The lights are on day and night. The team wondered if earplugs and eye masks might help. They tried out their strategy on folks spending time in the open heart cardiac surgery intensive care unit of the Shahid Raji Hospital in Iran. Now, all of these people knew that they were having surgery, and none of them had a history of psychological problems. Their psychological state was assessed just before the surgery, and then 2 months later, using a standard questionnaire that measures these things. The instrument they used was the Impact of Event Scale, revised, which asks people 22 questions related to the presence or absence of intrusive memories, hyperarousal, and avoidance. Before the trauma, despite being pretty nervous, open heart surgery is no walk in the park, no one was especially freaked out at the start of the study. Some folks were then issued with an eye mask and earplugs and told to use them when they were sleeping, both at night and during the day. The rest checked in for their surgery in the usual way. At the 2-month mark, there was a difference in their scores. The people who had hidden away during their stay in the ICU had a score of 11.72 plus or minus 6.48, while those that had experienced the ICU in the usual way clocked in with scores of 29.5 plus or minus 5.9. This was a significant difference. Clearly, being shielded from the ICU environment protected their psyche. Now, getting your hands on an eye mask and earplugs is not hard. Both hospitals and airlines often distribute branded versions of them. They're routinely used on transatlantic flights, but they're not a standard part of life in the ICU. This research suggests they should be. If you or a loved one are going to spend time in an ICU, earplugs and an eye mask should be part of your hospital kit. Deploying it will help you create better body chemistry in the long run. Interested in discovering more ways to create better body chemistry or need a little help getting your body chemistry on track? Visit our website at www.betterbodychemistry.com. Browse our library or enroll in one of our courses or programs. The advice is simple to follow and based on real science, not hype. Know someone who's going in for a procedure and likely to find themselves in an ICU? Share this video with them so they know how to shield themselves and hasten their recovery. And if this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you catch future episodes of Better Body Chemistry TV. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health.